everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm KK. In today's video, I'm gonna share my March 2024 bullet journal setup with you. Before we jump into the new month, let's have a quick flip through of my bullet journal so far this year. At the time this video was filmed, it was only halfway through February, so I figured why not start from the beginning of the year. I'm especially happy with how I've been maintaining a healthy diet. I've color-coded my food intake tracker, green for healthy food, yellow for average, and red for unhealthy or junk food. As you can see, I've managed to keep a pretty healthy and balanced diet, even during the holiday season at the beginning of January, and even when I was sick mid-February. I think visualizing it really motivated me to reduce those red entries. And here's my journaling page flip through. I have a doodle a day section in my monthly layout next to my cover. It is a new thing that I've only started doing this year, but I love it so much. It helps me to capture the daily highlights and encourages me to do more drawings as well. For this month's cover page, I'm using a bold font again with a shadow line to give it a more blocky look. I start with the title first as always, so later on I can draw around it. While I don't often pencil sketch out the titles, but I just want to be more precise and careful this time. This black pen I'm using is Sakura Pigma Micron, and this one needs a 1mm tip. So for March, I've decided to go with a more vibrant vibe by drawing with more bright colors. I'm drawing some abstract shapes or boho inspired type of patterns. I'm not even sure what it's called, but I'm sure you must have seen this style before. So here I am combining various shapes like flowers, leaves, and geometric figures. These are very simple and easy to create, and it can be quite random. It doesn't need to be precise. So if a shape doesn't turn out quite right, you can easily adjust around it as well. I'm alternating the colors to maintain balance and also mixing the larger and smaller patterns as well for the same reason. While I don't typically use such bold colors, I'm loving this combination so much. Also, Easter will be landing in March this year, so I thought I'd put some more colors into the design. I also made another layout last November with pretty much the same colors, but a different pattern, and that turned out beautifully as well. Plus, this time I even got matching nails here. The notebook I'm using is the Paperideas A5 dotted notebook. It's 100 GSM paper and holds my type of drawing pretty well without bleeding. So these brushes I'm using are Tombow dual brush pens, and this blue, yellow, pink and red colors are all from the Nordic set. If you're interested in the supplies I'm using, you can find them all on my online stationery store hedgehogjournals.com. I'll put the links in the description box below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe my channel so you don't miss out on my content. And if you have any theme suggestions, feel free to comment below and let me know. I always love to hear what you guys come up with. So, how has everyone been? I hope you all had a fantastic start to the year and making good progress towards your goals. As for me, January flown by in the blink of an eye, but February has been a bit slower. Overall, I think I've been pretty consistent this year, except for having a bad cold for about a week, where I didn't do much journaling or work or any workouts. But that's alright, things happen and you just need to listen to your body. I've managed to get more organized and feel like life is more under control now, except for last week where I battled a nasty cold. I took that opportunity to slow down, catching up on some readings and finally watching those movies I've been meaning to see. Now that I'm all caught up with my journaling and planning, I'm feeling much more energized. For those of you who are new here, alongside my bullet journal, I also have a smaller weekly planner for my day-to-day tasks, events, and appointments, etc. And my bullet journal is mainly for habit tracking and reflections. Now moving on to the left hand side, which would be my a doodle a day section. For this area, I've opted for yellow, pink and added an orange color because the red and the blue would be too dark and would make the drawings on top of it nearly invisible. I have 5 blobs each line, and since there's 31 days in March, I have added an extra line for the 31st. I really enjoy this little section. I always wanted to do a bit more drawing, but never quite prioritized it. There were always so many excuses. I don't have enough time, there's too much prep work, or just not knowing what to draw. However, committing to a doodle a day here has actually sparked my creativity. I can draw the highlight of the day, some new things I've never done, or new places I've never been, something to be grateful for, or even something sad that happened. Although I do forget about it every now and then, I'd always come back and maybe filling in a few days at a time. It's very satisfying to see it all filled at the end of each month. This little section has nudged me to draw a little every day, and a little is better than nothing, right? So here's the monthly pages. I have to say I'm thrilled with how they've turned out. They are a bit bolder in color than my usual choices, but I'm absolutely loving it. I can already tell that these vibrant colors will brighten up my each day of this month. Now let's move on to the weekly layouts. As usual, since my weekly layout is just for reflection, the layout will just be the simple 8 boxes, 7 boxes for each day of the week, and the 8th box for my week in review. For the first week, I'll leave some space in either side of the page for the blobs and shapes. You might notice that some of the drawings from the other side of the page are slightly visible, but nothing bled through, which is perfectly fine for me. This notebook has 188 numbered pages, which is just enough for my needs over the course of a year. I've been using this book for 3 or 4 years now, and there are always a few pages left at the end of each book, where I've done some pen swatches, theme tests, or sketches. The 100 GSM paper keeps the book lightweight and easy to carry with. If you do lots of coloring or even watercolor, this may not be the book for you, but for me it works perfectly well because I really carry it with me everywhere. As for this month's theme, it's actually quite simple again. A lot of the time was spent on swapping pens, and I decided to replace the pink with orange in this week's page here, just for the variation. After adding all the days and the days of the week, the layout is all done. Now let's move on to week 2. A bit of a new layout for me. Although it's still 8 blocks, I don't think I've never thought about dividing the page this way before. It's like a cross in the middle and leaving 4 squares in the corners for drawings. This week, I'm sticking with just blue and pink, adding a touch of variation within the same theme. Originally, I had planned to use blue and yellow just like my nails, but I decided to try out this combination instead. Surprisingly, these 2 colors complement each other quite well and looked better together than I thought. What are your thoughts? Do you like them? I recently also started to do meditation, and I'm hoping to make it a habit. I used to think meditation is so boring and didn't understand the purpose of it at all. However, I happened to read in some books that talked about meditation and realized its benefits and that there's science behind it. Meditation is like training for your brain, and the changes these trainings make to your brain actually enhance your focus, make you calm and relax, and eventually leading a happier mindset. So I decided to give it a go, and it seems good. It's been helping me relax, slow down, and quiet my mind. Also, it definitely helped with my sleep. So I decided to make it a habit. I made a habit tracker on my weekly planner because unfortunately I didn't leave extra space in the beginning of my bullet journal for new habits. No big deal though. I also track my productivity in my planner there, so it's kind of related. But note to self for my next year, leave a few empty pages just in case I want to try new habits. With life slowing down and becoming more organized, I've found myself with a bit more time for reading. I've already finished 4 books this year, which to many of you are not many at all, but it isn't too far off from my goal of reading 50 books this year. I'm sure I'll catch up later on. The slight delay is because I read more non-fiction books than usual, and I've been taking some notes along the way, which tends to take longer. Hopefully, I'll get the chance to share my reading journals with you all later on. Moving on to week 3, this time I've reserved the top and bottom portions for drawings. It's about 6 grade space on either side, and I'm back to the full color range. I love having a bit of variety to each weekly spread while keeping them within the same theme, just to keep it fun and less boring. With March having 31 days and the 31st falling on a Sunday, April will start satisfyingly on a Monday again. It also works well for March because I only need to draw 4 weekly layouts. The first few days were already covered in my February pages. I then add a bit of color to the title area here for each day, avoiding blue and red again, as they tend to be too dark. I'm keeping the title fonts relatively basic because my drawings are quite eye-catching and the handwritings don't need to stand out too much again. I then feel the need to add some colors to the previous week as well. So I put some shadows under each block with alternating colors. And here we are, nearly there. Let's move on to the final week. So for week 4, I opt for a more vertical layout. While I was drawing, I thought I should include a monthly review block as well. This is something I've never done before, but I felt it was important to have a summary or some sort of reflection at the end of the month. I've given it a generous space and I can't wait to see how it turns out for March. Color-wise, I'm using yellow, orange and pink, similar to the A Doodle a Day section. Adding a monthly review block didn't leave me much space for drawing, so it's relatively a quick setup again. I think all my pages are pretty quick and easy to set up. At the end of the day, functionality is the key. The drawings need to work around the functions. So after coloring the title areas as well, my March bullet journal setup is complete. Let's have a quick flip through to see the final results. Please comment below and let me know your thoughts, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe my channel if you enjoy my content. If you have any questions or theme suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below as well. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye for now!